So in this video, I'm going to be going over the trading sessions, how they work, why they're important. We're also going to be going over how news works. These topics are very important for things like the Forex market, also things like indices, commodities like gold, silver, all this stuff over here, futures. All that stuff is affected by these topics, the sessions, the news. It's not so much crypto, it's more so Forex and all this other stuff. But I will be going over exactly how this works, why it's important to know, and all that stuff. So, first of all, the trading day we split up into three main sessions. So, it's going to be the New York session, Asia session, and London session. So, if you've been in the server for a little bit, you've probably heard us talk about these things: New York session, Asia session. So, basically, this is what these things mean. New York session is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. All these times are in EST, by the way, so if you don't live in EST, just you can use a converter or whatever. But 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for New York session. Asia is 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. London is 3 a.m. to 12 p.m. So these are the main three sessions. Now, what these basically mean, and the reason why we split the day up into these sessions, is because on these sides of the world, this is when the most volume is in the market. Okay, so for everyone in North America, or in EST especially, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., that is when most people are trading. That is when the most volume is going to be in the market for that side of the world. During Asia, people in Asia are going to have their 9 to 5, quote unquote, or whenever they have the prime trading hours. For us in EST, that occurs from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then people in Europe, they're having their prime hours when it's 3 a.m. to 12 p.m. for us. So the reason why this is important is because the currencies that correlate to these areas of the world are going to have the most volume on the charts during those times. So what this means is, in Asia session, for example, if we take Asia, all of the Forex pairs that have the JPY in it, for example, which is the Japanese yen, they're going to have a lot of volume on their charts during Asia session. So the three main currencies that you want to be trading in Asia session are the JPY, the Japanese yen, the Australian dollar, and the New Zealand dollar. I will only trade Forex pairs that include one of those, at least one of those three currencies in it in Asia session. I will not trade something like USD CAD in Asia session because that is the US dollar to the Canadian dollar. That chart or those currencies are not going to have a lot of volume cycling in the market during Asia session because this is when Asia is trading, not so much North America. And so you can probably guess that any Forex pair that has USD in it is good to trade during New York session. Or any Forex pair that has the British pound in it, or the euro in it, or the Swiss franc in it, which is CHF, that's the Switzerland. Any of those are good to trade in London session. Now there is a couple things I wanted to point out, that there are a few hours of the day where the New York session actually overlaps with the London session, right? So New York session starts at 8 a.m. and it goes till 5. London starts at 3 a.m. and goes till 12. So from 8 a.m. until 12, New York session and London session are overlapping. So this time period is what we call the New York-London overlap. And this is where the most volume is in the market for everything, for every currency. So you can trade anything during this time. Anything, any index, any Forex pair, they're all good to trade during this time period because the most volume is in the market period in the world. So everything is good to trade during this time. But I would stay away from trading things in Asia session, like I said, that don't include an Asian currency, right? So once again, in Asia session, I only trade pairs that have either the Japanese yen in it, the Australian dollar, or the New Zealand dollar. So I could trade NZD JPY, I could trade USD JPY, anything that has one of those things in it. I can trade AUD USD because it has AUD, any of those things. In terms of the indices, like the US, the NAS 100, the US 30, I stay away from trading these in Asia session. Why? Because these are all based on the US market, right? So during Asia, you guys can go look at the charts for yourselves. You're gonna see that the charts just do not have a lot of volume during this time, which means that if you enter a trade, there's a good chance it's not really gonna do anything. It's just not worth trading. Like the chart's gonna look really bad on the low time frame too. You want to just stay away from it. You want to only be entering the market when you know it's more volatile, because that means your trade has a better chance of playing out. And one more thing I want to point over is from 5 p.m. to around 7 p.m. I guess it's debatable when this ends. It could be like 6, 6:30. I just stay away from 5 till 7. This is what we call rollover. So this is really only affecting, like I said, Forex mostly. Like crypto's not really affected by any of this. You can trade crypto at any time of the day, really. But this is all mostly for Forex and stuff. During this time of the day, do not take any trades. And even like a couple hours before this as well, I stopped trading at like 2 p.m. honestly, until 7. But the real what we call rollover happens at 5, and that is when I don't even know what it actually is. Like all the things, all the spread on everything goes crazy. The chart looks horrible. Like the candles, you'll see candles that are just like looking like this for a bit. Every single day this happens around 5 to 7. It starts slowing down around 6:37. That's when I start looking at the charts again. But definitely stay away from the market. I would recommend at least stop trading at 3 p.m. and then come back around 7. This is all EST once again. So that is how the trading sessions work. Just remember everything I said. In terms of news events are very important for Forex as well, and honestly all this other stuff. So almost every day there's high impact news events that are going to cause huge price movements up or down or whatever, or going like this on the Forex charts. Okay, just to show you guys an example of what this looks like is you have this chart right here on USD/JPY, and usually around the same time these news events happen. Like it's around the same time whenever they do happen. 8:30 EST is a big time for news. So is 10 a.m. These 8:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. are big times for news events for Forex, and things like this will happen. This is a normal chart, and then you have the news come in at 8:30 and it does this, right? And it's really not a good idea to be in a trade or to enter something when you know a news event is coming up. So how do you know the news events are coming up? Is we use this website. It's called MyFXbook. You go on this website, you just click economic calendar, and then you can go here and filter for high impact news. You just filter it here for high impact only, because the rest of it doesn't really matter. It's only the high impact, and it tells you the times that high impact news are occurring every single day. So for example, tomorrow is Thursday. The high impact news, there's a bunch of news at 8:30. So this is going to happen. Most likely something like this is going to happen. This was at 8:30 as well. So I sure as hell am not going to be entering any trades leading up to 8:30, because I know that a lot of the time the news events, they send the chart in the direction that you expected it to go. But the thing is, the reason why you don't want to be in a trade is I could know that a chart's bullish, and I could know that I want to enter a trade, let's say here, but there's a news event. I can enter along here, and what's going to happen a lot of the time is you get a candle that just goes like this, shoots down and then comes right up. So no matter what, even if you're right about the bias, you're right about the direction, you're still going to get stopped out of the trade and take a loss, because that's just how the news candles work. They're just crazy. So do not trade if you know a news event is coming up. USD news, high impact, pretty much affects almost everything usually. Other than the USD news, if there's something like CHF news or JPY news, or let's say odd news, right? Anything other than USD is pretty much only going to affect that thing. So if there's odd news, it's pretty much only going to affect pairs that have odd in it. So don't worry about trading something like, I don't know, USD CAD or USD JPY, right? Because it doesn't have odd in it. But if there's USD news, stay away from trading everything during that time, if that makes sense. So here, Euro news, I would just stay away from trading pairs that have the euro in it, right? And also I'd probably stay away from like GBP as well, because those are like pretty much right beside each other. But you'd be fine to trade something like USD JPY at this time, right? Because this is euro news, but like I said again, the USD news affects everything. So I will be sending this into the Discord and Trading Tools probably. This site, I'm also going to send you guys this site, because this is just a site that goes over the trading sessions, what times they're at, and you can filter it to your own time zone too. So you can take a screenshot of this. It's pretty you can use this. It's pretty helpful. Um, so that's news and the sessions. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Remember that this is the best time of the day to trade for the most part. You can trade anything during this time, during these 4 hours. This is when the most volumes in the market. Asia session, only trade Asian pairs in Asia session. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That covers everything. So I'll see you guys in the next video.